Okay.
Okay, so welcome to the first of a series of short 5-minute videos called ICAC Cotton Connect, where we connect with leaders from the cotton and textile sectors around the globe about how COVID-19 is affecting their sector in their particular country. To start us off, I'm delighted to have with me Dr. Rubana Huq, who is the president of the Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Rubana is also the managing director of Mahamadi Group, which exports 1.5 million pieces of ready-made garments every month. Rubana, thank you for joining us in these very difficult times. Anyone who's seen your recent videos cannot fail to be struck by the enormity of the effect of the coronavirus in Bangladesh, and also how this must be affecting other textile manufacturing countries such as India and Pakistan. Can you tell us in more detail how this crisis is affecting Bangladesh, and in particular garment manufacturers like yourself?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be heard and seen. The latest figures are actually 1,032 factories so far. Till 10 this morning, they have reported a loss of $2.82 billion worth of export, affecting 2.06 million workers. So it only means that the portal that we've put up and everybody's accessing and giving input to is only a fraction, because we have more than 3,000 factories. We have actually 4,264 factories, out of which only 1,032 are still reporting. So the losses are obviously going to be compound. It's going to be much more. What I want you to understand is there are many brands who've just canceled outright. So goods which were ready, goods which were being packed, which were on the cutting tables, those are also canceled, along with the uncut fabric and accessories which we have already bought. So the first mails from all the brands that came through was very, very sharp. And they said, we're not going to take anything, period. So everybody was trying to save their own skin. But what they didn't quite realize that, after so many years of continued partnership, this is not what one expects from a partner, from a strategic partner. And after Rana Plaza happened in Bangladesh, we've gone through massive remediation, and these brands have basically been by our side, guided us, pushed us to remediate, and we've done all that. This country has basically almost spent $1.5 billion just buying fire equipment from abroad. So we've done all that. We've literally learned our lesson at the cost of a great national tragedy, but we've learned and we've been better. And we've been great suppliers to work with, actually. But most of these brands, when they canceled immediately, harshly, which actually set off shockwaves in the banking industry in Bangladesh. So without submission of export document, without having any export since 15th of March, we are unable to get any money out of our banks. So what we did was we ran to our government. We said, help us out. The government has given us a soft loan. And this soft loan, which is 2% interest, is actually, now that I'm reading, that it's probably payable in 2 years. And I have no idea how we're going to do this. And then, reconstruct our business and pay the salaries of the workers. Because this loan is not going to come through till about 3rd week of April. But before that, we have 7th of April approaching, and every garment factory needs to make the payment. And we haven't really even operated even for 15 days a month. So without the brands actually saying that we are going to take your goods, we are going to pay for your accessories, and we are going to be taking all the goods which are under production, it doesn't solve our problem. Now, we have given multiple options to our buyers. We have said, guys, if you don't have storage space, we will give you storage space. We will consider the goods shipped as soon as they leave the factory, but we will start counting then. If you can't pay us then, you tell us that you can pay us in 90 days, in 180 days, and we have no problems with that. But this is something that we can actually talk about. But none of them literally, except for 3 very responsible brands, they've come forward and they've said that, hey, we're going to take this. Apart from that, nobody has. So far, we are now stuck in a situation where we cannot see tomorrow. Forget about us. We're talking about our workers. Our workers need to be paid. That is an appeal that we have to all our brands. And this relationship, this partnership is not going to end tomorrow. So they are going to be needing us and we are going to be needing them. So we need to find a solution out of this whole thing through a very comfortable discourse and not through finger pointing. I mean, blame game isn't going to solve anybody's problem. So I want the brands to realize that they are still being supported by their generous governments, whereas we, as a third world country, have a full manufacturing scenario of 4.1 million workers, and we don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to pay them. So this is where we need immediate injection of funds, and we are literally pleading with all our brands to come forward with some kind of a relief.
Well, in all these situations, it's often the poorest people that are hit the hardest. Can you give us some sense of what this will do for the workers in Bangladesh?
Well, this is absolutely going to put the workers in an absolute abject poverty, because when we don't have work, what do? We lay our factories off with certain benefits. So they get it. So they also are uncertain about their future of employment. They also go back home with reduced pay because there's no work. And number 3, there's no assurance of any brand coming forward and saying, most of them actually coming and saying that we're going to be paying for our goods, please, now you can pay your workers. So I'm asking every brand to take the responsibility of immediate payment of salary of the workers. We've even gone up to that point to say, most of our workers have, if not bank accounts, they have MFSs that they subscribe to. So they can even pay directly if they want to. None of us need to be benefited out of this whole thing. But we need to pay our workers.
And what are companies like your own, what are you going to be doing in the next few weeks?
Well, we've tried approaching the banks and they've been pretty hard. And, quite understandably so, because they can't see the next month and the business going forward. So we are having to now beg the brands. I even wrote to the brands day before yesterday, and I've written, guys, give us a letter saying that Bangladesh is your most favorite destination and that you're going to spring back to business with us as soon as the shops open. I've just received response from one and from none. So my point is, if the brands are if they're moving slowly, then it impacts our workers negatively. And if people like us suffer trying to get a credit line from the bank, I can very well imagine what it's going to do for the other manufacturers. I'm supposed to be most favored, but if I'm having to face this, then just imagine what's going to happen to the rest of the manufacturers who are going to be scrambling for money.
You talked about the Bangladeshi government giving soft loans. Is there anything else that the Bangladeshi government can do to help companies like your own?
Number one, the Bangladeshi government, what the central bank has done is they've not stopped the installment payment, but they have stopped calling us defaulters. So in March and in June, in 2 quarters, we will not be counted as defaulters. That's what they have done. They've allowed our back-to-back LC payments to be done 6 months later. So these are kind of, a couple of things that they have agreed to already. So, which is policy support from the government. But the government is we don't have a lot of cash. We have to also borrow from other places, including IMF, perhaps. I'm not sure what the government is doing right now, but the funds have to come from other places. So we need to understand that our funds and our resources are limited, and we depend solely on the brand's settlement. So if they don't settle our dues, we are going to be really, really almost stuck.
What final message would you have for retailers and brands who have cancelled or are thinking of cancelling their orders?
Well, we sent out a few very, very clearly. We sent out a couple of proposals to them. One, we told them that, guys, please pay for the ready goods and the goods which are in progress, and please tell us what you can do and when you can pay. That's one. Number two, we have said, please take the liability of the unused fabric and accessories so that we can at least be assured with that. Number three, we've also said that if you're canceling anything, ready goods, please pay us 100% FOB. Four, we've also said that if not anything, please pay us a part of the goods. So 25% of the total price, so that, you know, if you settle 1/4, we can at least take care of our workers. So that's something that we have appealed to with all the brands. I'm hoping that they're going to listen and they're going to come back, if not with cash, at least with a pledge based on which we can go forward.
Well, thank you, Rubana. Sadly, it is in such extreme events like this that the poorest in society are the ones who suffer the most. They often don't have government safety nets, savings, or the ability to work at home like you and I are doing at the moment. They're having to live day by day. Let's hope that the retailers and brands hear your message and that we all work together to save our sector and protect the most vulnerable who work in it. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today, Rubana.
Thank you very much.